Okay, students, today we are taking lecture number 3 of Guidance and Counseling course. And the topic of discussion is rating scale. And we will understand in it meaning, types, and significance of rating scale. What we are going to discuss in this lecture, first of all, we will try to understand the meaning of the rating scales, and then we will understand the components of the rating scales and what are the different types of the rating scales. And we also learn advantages of the rating scale and limitations of the rating scales, and finally we will conclude our lecture. So let us start with our discussion with meaning of rating scales. I am presenting before you a very famous definition of the rating scale given by Burr et al. In 1953. Although it is an old definition, but it is equally true in understanding the meaning of the rating scale. Rating is a term applied to expression of opinion or judgment regarding some situation. Opinions are expressed, judgments are expressed by the use of the rating scales related to some situation, objects, or character. Opinions are usually expressed on a scale of values. Values means that we are giving significance to certain aspect and ignoring on any other aspect. Take for example, if you want to know certain traits based on, take for example, honesty. Honesty is an attribute of any individual, and you want to get the opinion related to the honesty expressed by any individual, you can frame the rating scales, and the person can be allowed to rate the individual on given options. We will elaborate more clearly in the next stages. The process of rating scale involves three basic components. Three basic components. Number one, or factors, that is the specific trait or traits to be rated. First aspect. And the second is the scale of rating. We are using any scale, that is the second aspect. And then we are the person or the judge who assigned the rating. This is the third aspect. First aspect is trait, or if more than one trait is there, then we can say the traits to be rated. Then the scale of rating, we have a scale, prepared scale, that is called the rating scale. And we have a person or the judge. It can be a person, it can be the judge who assigned the rating. So three aspects are basically important, three elements are important in the rating process. The rating scale usually has 2, 3, 5, 7, 9 or 11 scale points on a line with descriptive categories at both the ends. It will be clear in the next stage. Then when I will cite the examples of various types of the scales before you. Now there are two components, broad components are there. Number one is stimulus variable, number two response option. Stimulus variable means which consists of a trait, names or qualities to be rated. What quality you are going to rate, what object you are going to rate, what situation you are going to rate, that is basically the stimulus. Now you are responding to that stimulus, that is called the response option, which consists of numerical or descriptive categories on which the rating is done by the rater. It can be descriptive, it can be numerical in nature, means 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Numericals can be used, and there are descriptive qualities which can be utilized for that. I will make it clear in the later stage of it. Here we need to understand two aspects. Okay, there are two components in the rating scale. One is stimulus variable and another is the response variable. Stimulus means the type, the questions or the statement which we are providing to the rater or the respondent, that is called the stimulus variable, and in response to this stimulus variable, the response which we are getting, that is called the response option given by the rater. Now we are coming to the types of the rating scales. There are 6 broad categories of the rating scales as described by the Guilford. Number 1, numerical rating scale, number 2 graphic rating scale, number 3 percentage rating scale, number 4 rating by cumulative points, number 5 forced choice rating scale. We will elaborate in detail about these types of rating scales, and the number 1 is numerical rating scale. A numerical rating scale in education is a method of assessment where students' performance, behaviors, or attributes are assigned numerical values to represent different levels of a particular attribute. How it is done? Typically, they involve a range of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can be 7, it can be 9, it can be 11, where each number corresponds to a specific level of performance or attitude. Let me tell you the example of numerical rating scale. It is an example of the numerical. For example, we have made a statement and we want to get the this statement is basically stimulus variable, and the response will be taken under 5 categories. What is the question? A student should obey the direction of the teacher in the classroom. We want to get the rating of the students on this particular aspect. Now we have given the responses: strongly agree, agree, undecided, disagree, strongly disagree. A student might rate their understanding of a concept on a scale of 1 to 5. This is a scale of 1 to 5. It can be enlarged. Scoring procedure. What is the scoring procedure? After rating the observer, the investigator assigns numerals to certain categories. For example, in this category, we are giving 5 marks to the strongly disagree, 4 to the disagree, 3 to the undecided, 2 to the agree, and 1 to the strongly agree. Second is, this is numerical, where the numerical scoring is possible. Graphic rating scale is another type of rating scale. The graphic scale is the most popular and most widely used type of rating scale. In this scale, a straight line is shown vertically or horizontally. Either this line can be in this manner, or it can be in this manner. And traits can be here. In this category, the traits can be here. I will give you the example in the next slide. A graphic rating scale typically presents a continuum of options, often numerical or descriptive, allowing educators to rate students on a specific criteria. Now, take the example of the graphic rating scale. How effective was presentation of material aids in the class by the teacher? This is a stimulus variable or the statement. Now response is possible or by the student on this graphic rating. We have made this line. These are supposed to be the graph where descriptive aspects had been presented here. Very effective, slightly effective, average, slightly ineffective, and very ineffective. These responses can be ticked by the individual by any method. Third one is the percentage rating scale. A percentage rating scale is a system that uses a percentage to measure performance, attitudes, or specific criteria, where 100% is the highest possible score. This score is then used to determine a letter grade or other qualitative assessment. Grading scale is the example of percentage rating scale. Grading which we provide to our students in academic achievement, that is basically based on the percentage of marks. Okay, we are converting the percentages into the grading, and we are giving the opportunity to understand if you have the grade A, it suggests you belongs to, for example, to 80 to 90% range. If you are given B and the criteria is to decide 70 to 80%. So this aspect can be taken in percentage rating scale. A predetermined percentage rating is associated with each letter grade or other qualitative assessments. How it is done? Examples include customer satisfaction score that uses 1 to 5. You can use grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, on which scale you would like to go, where you will keep them. 1 to 10 scale can be there, where percentage of satisfaction are calculated based on number of responses at each level. On the basis of that, we can divide them in percentages. Another example is weighted scale, where different options are assigned a percentage of a total score, such as excellent. Suppose excellent is written here, and we are giving 100% response to the excellent and 0% response to the unsatisfactory. This is percentage scale. A percentage scale can be asked, give the name of the 5% students who are performing well in your class. Give the name of the 5% students who are the slow learners and facing trouble in educational aspect. Such kinds of percentage scales can be used. So different situations we can use the percentage for rating purposes. Okay, take for example any particular behavior. Okay, for example, a person is having irritation. Okay, evaluate the percentage from where you consider his irritation is in the limit of 80 to 90%. Like that, you can do it. Now, come to the individual rating. A rating by cumulative points typically refers to a system where individual scores or ratings across multiple items or criteria are summed to create a total score or overall rate. Cumulate karna, add karna, final performance, that is called the rating by cumulative points. Rating by cumulative points is a method of scoring where a total score is calculated by adding up weighted or unweighted points from different attributes or items. In an academic context, it is most commonly known as a cumulative grade point average. Cumulative point. Your performance is evaluated on continuous basis and final score is awarded to the rating. That is also called the rating by cumulative point. Let us take the example of the rating by cumulative points. An employee might be rated on a 3-point scale like below expectations, meet expectations, exceed expectation for each of several performance criteria. You can asking the criteria, giving the criteria, these three criteria you have given. An employee performance, generally this kind of rating is done by various shopping malls where they give you the feedback which is based on the rating point. On the basis of cumulative record, they can understand okay, what is the satisfaction level which we are providing to our customers. So this rating scale is also very useful in many situations. It is also conducted, this is a kind of social survey. We are conducting research, we can also use it in counseling process. We can ask the teachers to rate the person who are most importantly in need of the counseling, whose behavior is below expectation level and they need counseling and the guidance. So below expectation, meet expectation and exceed expectation. The numerical values assigned to each can be 1, 2, 3 are then summed to produce an overall performance score. Forced choice rating scale. A forced choice rating scale, also known as an ipsative scale. What is this? Ipsative scale is meaning of the self. It is derived from the Latin word ipse, meaning of the self. So a forced choice rating scale, also known as ipsative scale, which refers to a measurement that compares an individual's current performance or attributes to their own past performance or attributes. That is, forced choice rating is used for that. rather than against an external standard or other people. So it is derived from the Latin word ipse, meaning of the self, means self-evaluation. Excuse me. This approach is used in educational assessment to track personal growth and psychological testing to reveal an individual's relative strength and weaknesses. So this is another type of the rating scale. Let us take the example of the forced choice rating scale. We are forcing the respondents to give certain response. That is why we are calling it forced choice rating scale. It is a type of survey scale where respondents must select between provided options. They are not given free hand without a neutral or middle choice. No middle choice is there, either yes, either agree or disagree, either true or false. No in between choice is present in it. Multiple choice questions can also be there. Respondents choose the option that best describes their opinion from a set of options, none of which are neutral. No neutral, as we have seen in previous cases when we are using the graphic scale, undecided or neutral. There is no concept of the neutral. Choice has to be given to you. Either you have to go in this direction or you have to go to that direction. Now, there are two types of known scales, rating scales, Likert technique and the Thurston technique. There is a small difference in between these two techniques, and I will, in next two slides, I will try to make you clear about this difference. So the main difference is the Likert. Why it is called Likert technique? Because it was advocated by the Likert, and why Thurston? Because it was advocated by the Thurston. So Likert scale asks respondents to rate their agreement with statements on simple scale, that is 1 to 5. Strongly agree, agree, undecided, disagree, and strongly disagree. While Thurston scales are more complex, requiring a panel of judges to first assign a scale value to each statement before respondents agree or disagree with them. Two choices are also there in Thurston technique, either you agree or you disagree. But these statements are basically prepared by the counselor or the researcher, and an opinion of the expert is taken or grading of the expert is also done on that, and after that we are giving it to the respondents. So Likert scales are easier to construct because no expert opinion or expert grading is needed in Likert scale, but expert grading is needed in the Thurston scale. So Likert scales are easier to construct and analyze, while Thurston scales are better for creating more precise attitude measurements because expert's opinion has also involved in that. Difference in Likert and Thurston technique, two more points are there. Number one, in Likert scale, the items are generally considered to have equal weight. The final score is a simple sum of responses. We have given 5 responses on particular question, and there are 20 questions. So we can give a score, final score to the individual. In Thurston scale, uh, take for example here, okay, 10 questions are there, and if candidate has given the maximum choice, so 10 into 5 is going his score can be 50. If he has given the lowest choice, then his score will be 10. So 10 to 50 will be the range of the scores. Lowest score will be the 10 and the maximum scores will be the 50 on a 5-point scale, where we are giving the 5 points to the highest choice and the 1 point to the lowest choice. So in that cases, Thurston technique scale, the statements are weighted by judges to create a continuum. The final score reflects the weighted average of the statement a respondent agrees with, agree or disagreement. Three judges median of the judges. Take for example, one judge has given 2 and another has given 3, third one is 5. So this will be the average, and fourth one is given another 2. So addition of 2 means 2 plus 3 plus 12. 12 upon 4, the response will be the answer will be the 3. In this manner, we make the final response using in guidance and counseling. Now, how these rating scales are used in guidance and counseling? Now we are going to understand that these rating scales are very useful in evaluating the individuals. We can use the rating scale by analyzing the academic performance, by analyzing the social skills, by knowing the emotional well-being and personality traits of the individual. So evaluating for evaluation purpose, definitely all the tests, the basic purpose of all the tests is to evaluate the performance, evaluate the individual characteristics, which is very important in the counseling process to first use in evaluating the individual. Second is identifying areas for improvement. Once we are evaluating the individuals, then certain shortcomings will be reflected based on that, and we can identify on that aspect. They can pinpoint specific areas where the student or client may need support or intervention, allowing counselors to tailor their approach. Their approach has to be made tailored in that. So, now tracking progress. Rating scales can also be used in the tracking progress, whether we are moving in a positive direction or we are not performing well in any area. For example, rating scales can be used to monitor progress over time, helping counselors and client to see the impact of counseling intervention. If counseling interventions are there and we are using the rating scale to see what kind of behavior change has been reflected in the attitude of the student, that is basically the tracking of the progress. So these rating scales can also be used in evaluating the tracking progress of the candidates. Supplementing other assessments. They can complement other assessment methods like standardized test by providing a more holistic view of the individual. There are different types of the scales. Interview we have discussed. Now we are discussing about the rating scales, and we will in later stages will discuss about the psychological test or the standardized test. So in order to assist the other test in getting the actual performance, because no single test is able to get the actual personality of the individual. There are certain aspects which will be more clear for the counselor or the researcher by using the standardized test, and others can be more by applying the rating scale, as well as some others will be able to get by using the interview technique. So this rating scale is also used in supplementing other assessments. Self-analysis and self-evaluation. It is also helpful for the client. Rating scales can empower individuals to reflect on their own behaviors and progress, fostering self-awareness. So self-awareness is definitely a principle or an objective of using of all the tests, because if you are evaluating the students' characteristic features, then we are also providing this information to the student, which provides to analyze, provide the opportunity to the individual to analyze his or her own personality. And another aspect used in guidance and counseling is basically career counseling. It helps assesses interest, work habits and personality traits relevant to career choices. So career choices are also very important. Help assess interest, work habits and personality traits relevant to career choices. Then educational guidance aid in identifying learning styles, academic strength and areas of academic support. It is used for the Career counseling also, because it provides opportunity to understand various types of the interests as well as habits and the personality traits expressed by the individual that can be utilized in providing the counseling, career counseling. And in educational aspect, okay, we can also rate the individual on learning styles and academic strength and areas of academic support. There are certain advantages of the rating scale. Another advantage is uh, efficiency. They can be administered relatively quickly, providing a large amount of information in a short time. Quickly you can use it, and very efficiently you can get the information related to individuals, any particular behavior or any particular trace or any object or any aspect. Objectivity, when properly designed and administered, they can offer a more objective measure compared to unstructured observation. So if they are planned in a systematic manner and in a very effective manner, so then some kind of objectivity can be maintained. Quantifiable data, they often provide quantifiable data that can be analyzed statistically, making it easier to track changes and compare individuals. We can quantify by converting into numerical value, and that numerical value can be used, can be interpreted on the basis of the statistical techniques. It is also cost effective. Rating scales are generally cost effective compared to other assessment methods also. But there are certain limitations of the rating scales. What are these limitations? Subjectivity is one of them. Objectivity can be maintained, but although subjectivity is associated to the rating scale, so different individuals may interpret the same scale points differently, leading to inconsistent rating. Lack of depth. Rating scales primarily offer a quantitative measure of opinions or behaviors, often lacking the qualitative details that explain why behind the rating. We cannot ask certain questions. Why means where students are able to rate or express their ideas accordingly. Error of central tendency is also associated to the rating scales. It is one of the serious limitation. Raters may avoid extreme scores, preferring to use the middle or the neutral position. They are not giving the extreme position, strongly disagree, avoiding that, and strongly agree, avoiding that, and they are giving the information in between three aspect. That is the central tendency error. Neither they want to high rate or the low rate. So error of leniency is also there. Severity bias, that is also called. This error refers to general and constant tendency for the rater to rate too high or too low for whatever reason. Reasons can be the different. The person is constantly providing low rating, that is the negative leniency error, and continuously assigning the high rating, that is the positive leniency error. Halo effect is also working in the rating scale. The rater forms a general opinion about the person's merit, and his feelings and his ratings or specific trait are generally influenced by his general impression. If someone is having, okay, this person is having a good reputation or regular, then the teacher rates better on that. Inability to provide specific feedback. While useful for overall assessment, rating scales often don't provide the specific actionable feedback needed for the improvement. Logical error is also there. Judges are likely to give similar ratings for traits which they feel logically each other. Two similar statements are there and they are logically related to each other. Then it is basically a kind of the logical error. And person is rating on the same scale to both the questions. Potential for misinterpretation. Respondents might misunderstand the scale or its anchors, leading to inaccurate data. These are some of the limitations. Now we are concluding the lecture. By using rating scales thoughtfully and responsibly, counselors can gain valuable insights into individuals' strengths, needs, and progress, ultimately supporting their personal and academic growth. So these can be used effectively by the counselor. So with this we have completed by knowing the all about the rating scales. Thank you very much for your patience listening, and God bless you all.